Hello viewers, welcome to today's episode of Real Estate Talk with Landlady Jane. I want to use this opportunity to say happy Easter to all my fans out there, all followers, all viewers. Happy Easter to every one of you, and also happy holiday. The holiday is actually over, and activities have resumed, work, schools have resumed, and my fans there who are writing jam, I also want to use this opportunity to wish you success. May God crown all your efforts with success, and bring may this year's exam bring admission. So if you have been writing since, God helps you this year. You're not this is going to be your last, and if this is your first, we pray that is also your last for this year. And if your son, your daughter, your sister, your brother is writing, this prayer also goes to each and every one of them. So on today's talk with Real Estate Talk with Landlady Jane, we are going to be treating about property management in Nigeria. And if you're a property manager, please come over here. This information is for you. Property management, everybody, so many people call themselves property managers and all that without knowing the key responsibilities of what they are supposed to do and what they are not supposed to do. They play the role of the landlord, the role of and property manager. They play the role of lawyer and all that. So to make this easier for you and I, come over here and let's discuss about the key responsibility of a property manager. Yes, the first one we have on our list is rent collection. A property manager ensure that tenants pay their rent on time and also their arrears. Yes, it is not too bad to owe, but even if you're owing, you have to pay. And when a property manager comes asking you to pay off your rent, it is not bad for him to do so, or her to ask you to pay your rents. So a property manager also do what we call tenant management, finding and screening of tenants, because in the world where we live today, landlords are skeptical about the kind of tenants they want in their compound. Yes, some of them will tell, some are tribalistic, some is a high class landlords and all that. They tell you these are the kind of tenants we need in our compound and all that, and you've got no choice than to do screening for these things before you can before you can allow somebody to pack into the community. It might be somebody. Some people may say they want working class individual, they don't want family, or they don't want singles, or they want family. Some people, they will be tribalistic about it. That is their choice. It is their property. They know what they want to do with it. So it is the duty of the property manager who is in charge of that property to do tenant management, screen, and know the appropriate tenants to keep in that apartment. Then we also have property maintenance. Yes, the property manager is also responsible for property maintenance. He has to go about and know where that needs fixing, where and where that needs to be maintained. Yeah, that is his work. It is not the work of the lawyer to come and do maintenance in a particular property where they have a property manager. They coordinate repairs and every other damages going on in that particular apartment. A property manager is also responsible for legal compliance, ensuring compliance with legal housing laws and regulations. Yes, you make sure that the house you are in charge is in line with the regulation of housing laws and all that, and you don't so that you don't put your landlord or the owner of the house into further trouble when you see something that is not supposed to be, like when somebody is doing an illegal connection of light and all that. It is your duty as a property manager to ensure that such thing does not happen in the property where you are managing. So a property manager also leases and prepares an agreement. Yeah, that's why you see them taking agreement fees and all that. So they draft out these things how it's supposed to be, and the landlord also review, and they come in agreement on how they are going to how these things are going to be done. And we also have budgeting and reporting, managing income and expenses and providing reports and other to the owner. He has to manage the income and expenses, the maintenance and everything, and give reports to the owner. Please don't run away with your landlord's money. Don't run away with your investor money. Don't run away with your employee money. As a property manager, when you collect all these things, collect money from your tenants whom you have allowed to stay in the compound, please, all you need to do is plus or minus all the maintenance and all that, because normally a house or an apartment is supposed to go under maintenance at least once in a year or twice, or maybe once in a year, twice in a year, once in 2 years, depending on how old the property has become. So when you do all this, ensure that you give report to the owner, and then give him the appropriate and money and everything that is supposed to be you are supposed to give to him or her, depending on who is owning the property. So that you don't make others look bad, because we have gotten information where property managers, they tend to, they don't actually come up and see how things are being done. They want to scam the owner of the property and all that. And at the end of the day, the tenants are the one being that will carry everything. You know, sometimes landlord comes, he's angry, he wants to evict people and all that. Meanwhile, these people has been actually complying with what the property manager has been doing or has been saying to them. But then the property manager is not giving an accurate and proper record of whatever that is going on in that particular apartment. So if you're a property manager out there and you're watching this program, please make sure and please ensure that you are actually doing the right thing for yourself, because there is dignity in labor. So now, what are the properties to be managed? Of course, there are different kinds of properties. There are different kinds of real estate. That is commercial. When we have commercial, we are talking about office space, malls, shops, hotels, and all that. Those are commercial properties. So if you are a manager in such place, you should know that there is dignity in labor, and you should know what are your work, so that you don't go doing your work, you are doing the work of the landlord, you are doing the work of the lawyer and all that. You know where you are supposed to come in, and where you're not supposed to involve yourself, and when you're supposed to involve the owner of the property, and when you're supposed to involve the lawyer to come in. Yes, when you are also managing a residential can be an apartment, houses, and estate. Yes, you also have to know your duty as a property manager. Industrial, we're talking about warehouses, factories. Yes, these things exist. Industrial housing exists, industrial real estate exists, and they have managers who takes care of those things. At least before you can get something there, you are somebody you have to meet. So these are the managers of this particular real estate. And what about the special real estate? We're talking about the libraries and the cemeteries. Of course, there are managers. You cannot just go to the cemetery and start burying your loved one there. You've got to meet somebody who will direct you on how these things are being done and all that. So if you're a property manager out there, please listen to this program, because this program is actually for you. Today is not for investors, it is not for property developers, it is not for consultants. Today is actually for property managers. And lastly, we have challenges that we are facing in all this. Of course, everything that has an advantage has a disadvantage. Being a manager, there are advantages you have, and there are some challenges you are also going to be facing while you are doing this managerial work. This property management thing have challenges like unreliable tenants. the same tenant you screened before he or she packed into the compound is still the same tenant who is going to be disappointing you, who is going to be unreliable, who is not going to meet up with payment and all that. Well, that's fine, but as long as they are going to still meet up with it. But some tenants can be very challenging, can be very, very challenging. So these are the challenges you are going to be facing as a property manager. And you know, some of these tenants also misuse the property. You know, you can imagine somebody who painted the house in an odd color just because that is the kind of color they want to live there and all that. And what if when you pack out or something, some people they misuse people's property, enter their kitchen, see how they've messed up everywhere and all that, and they are not even ready to do anything. Those are misuse of properties. I've seen properties on the internet where people actually create a mini bakery inside somebody's property and the person never even found out until that particular day. So there are tenants who are very, very challenging and they do all sorts of things, but that's okay. There are ways we can manage these things, and those are the places where you involve your lawyers and the agreement comes in. Now there are legal bottlenecks, slow eviction process. When you are trying to evict some of these tenants, it's not always easy doing that because some of them might have one or two genuine reasons why they've not been able to move out and all those things. All you need to do is to be calm, and if it is beyond you, you can invite the property lawyer to take over from there because these things has process. There is a way these things are being done because you can't just and you don't have a right to eject anybody from a particular property. Inconsistency in utility services like lights, drainage, water systems, and all that. When you, as a manager, you are not providing these things, it becomes you put yourself under pressure because the tenants will begin to disturb you. They begin to call you, and this will also make people to start leaving the compound for you. They will leave the apartment for you because these things are not available there. When other places are enjoying light, other compounds they are enjoying water and all that, and the one you are managing is not enjoying all these utilities. What makes you think that you are going to retain those tenants there? No, you're not going to return. It's going to, most people before they even park into a particular place, they tend to ask questions and okay, why are people living here? Why are people parking out of this compound and all that? And such information is not good to the ear. People likes to live where they will be more comfortable from where they left to the next place. They have to be more comfortable. And you as a property manager, when you're lacking all these things in the property where you are managing, is a challenge for you. So also security is also one of them. Security is a challenge because people don't want to live where they can't sleep with their two eyes open. They want to live where they can sleep and sleep comfortably and wake up the next morning to say thank God for the day. It's not when you're sleeping, you're taking your time, you're trying to wake up and look everywhere because the security of that particular place, it is not very enjoying. So security is also a concern. High cost of maintenance. Yes, cost of maintenance is also a challenge to property management. Of course, if you don't maintain your property, you're going to be facing challenges of damages and all that. So cost of maintenance is also one of the challenges a property manager has to face and all that. But then, what is the cost of a property when after maintaining, what is the cost of a maintenance after maintaining this property and we are getting a high return on investment in all this? The most important thing is that the property you are maintaining is going to cover both expenses and then we have our return on investment. So it is a challenge, but it's not a challenge that will be neglected. It's not a challenge that should put us under pressure. It is a challenge that will be treated and something good comes out of it. I've not seen a property where management is being done and the person is not gaining from it. No, it's only when you don't manage the property properly that is when you don't have a high return on investment on that, unless maybe your property is under charity and all that. So I want to use this opportunity to tell my fellow property managers out there that you have your work to do. Please don't encroach in other people's work. Do your work legally and you have your dignity. So please, that ends today. That ends the topic for today. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook on at Landlady Jane and TikTok at Landlady Jane. Of course, YouTube at Landlady Jane. You can also find us on Instagram at Landlady Jane. So I know it's funny, but yes, it is intentional. Yes, very, very intentional. So that is all for today. And we're sorry we are not bringing this program direct from the studio today because of the weather, man. The rain, the rain disrupted everywhere, and I just can't be at the office today. And but then we have to improvise and bring you something today. So I promise that next week Saturday there's going to be more and more to share. Yes, so please don't forget to invest your money in a proper way. Don't forget to do a proper investment, and don't forget that before you do your investment, there is something called due diligence. And my number still remains +234 8060363102. I come again, +234 8063 8060363102. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for joining. Until I come your way again next time, I am still Landlady Jean. Bye.